Hi everybody and welcome to Healthy Bites. Healthy Bites is a collaboration between Nevada County Public Health and Nevada County Media. My name is Shauna Schultz and I will be your host. I am a nutrition educator and dietitian with the CalFresh Healthy Living program, and I'm really excited to be able to show you how to prepare tasty meals that are also healthy, affordable, and family friendly. In today's episode, we will be making a very easy weeknight meal that should please the whole family. And what we'll be making is a vegetarian poke bowl. So really easy to put together. You can also find this recipe on eatfresh.org. So let's go ahead and get started. For our protein for this bowl, we will be using tofu. And I have tofu here in this dish. And I went ahead and I marinated it overnight. Now, that's not really necessary if that you don't have enough time to do it the day before. You can just let the tofu marinate for at least 30 minutes and that will be fine. But I want to go ahead and let you know how I made the marinade. So the marinade, very simple but full of flavor. So we have pineapple juice, we have a little toasted sesame oil, some soy sauce or tamari. We have fresh grated ginger, but you could also use a jarred ginger paste as well, just to save some time. And then there's some fresh lime juice in there as well. And that's it. We'll actually be using pineapple for this dish. So I bought a can of pineapple that was canned in its own juice. So that way you can use the pineapple and you can use the juice at the same time. So great idea to make your own marinades at home because a lot of store-bought marinades can be full of salt and sugar. So this puts you in control. So that's our simple marinade. The tofu that I used is a super firm tofu, so it's been pressed really well. The more water you press out of tofu, the more flavor it absorbs. And tofu is kind of like a blank canvas. It takes on whatever flavors you add to it. Great source of protein and also a really good source of calcium and iron. If you buy another type of tofu, like let's say you buy an extra firm, then you can just press it. You can take out the tofu, drain off the water, and put it in between two plates, and then just place a heavy object on top, like a book, for example, or a cast iron skillet. You can even wrap that tofu in paper towels and just let it sit for like a half an hour, and you'll notice that a lot of water drains out. But tofu, very easy to use. We'll actually be using it raw in this dish, so you don't even have to cook it, which is fabulous. And you can reuse this marinade again because we are not putting any kind of meat in there, so you can reuse it or just use it as a topping for your dish. All right, so let me introduce the rest of our ingredients. We'll be using brown rice. I cooked this brown rice. I used 1 cup of dry brown rice and 2 cups of water and just let it simmer for about 40 minutes. Or you just want to wait until the rice is tender and all the water is absorbed. So we have brown rice and we'll be adding some cucumber. This is just about a half of an English cucumber that's been cut into small chunks. I grated a carrot, so we added some shredded carrot. We have our pineapple that, it was actually pineapple slices, so I just cut it into small little chunks here. We'll be adding some avocado, and we'll be adding some black sesame seeds as a garnish. And then we'll be adding some seaweed or nori that we'll cut into thin strips at the end. So all we really have to do is assemble this dish. The only thing that you have to cook is the brown rice. So very easy to put together when you're in a hurry or you're really busy. Also makes for great leftovers the next day. And we still get a really balanced meal in a bowl, We have a whole grain, we have some protein, and we have some color for our vegetables. So we'll start by slicing, or rather dicing some tofu. So we'll get this out of our marinade. It smells delicious. And I'll just start with a couple slices here. To marinate it, I did cut it into slices and then just poured the marinade on top, put a cover on the dish, and let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. So it should have absorbed a lot of flavor. So we'll just cut this into little chunks, and we'll be using that in place of tuna, which would traditionally be on a poke bowl. Sometimes people add chicken too. You could really use this marinade for whatever type of protein that you enjoy. All right, so we'll just set these aside here. And grab a towel for my hands here. All right, so to assemble, very easy. I love this dish for kids and just for families in general because everybody has the opportunity to customize their bowl however they like, which is really helpful for people with different preferences for meals. So we'll add just a few scoops here of brown rice. This recipe should serve at least 4 people. All right, so we have a nice base of brown rice, and then we're just gonna decorate our bowl. So I'll start with some cucumbers. Put some cucumbers on there. It's going to become a beautiful little dish with all its different colors. Put on some shredded carrots. All right, we'll put on some pineapple. Gives it a nice freshness. And then the last thing that we'll add will be our avocado before we add our garnishes. All right. Move this to the side for a second. All right, so we have our avocado, and we'll just cut it into small little chunks. All right, so here we go. Slice, slice, slice. This avocado looks perfectly ripe. I actually like it a little bit more on the firm side. And we'll add that to our dish. Voila. A little bit of avocado. It's coming along nicely, so pretty here. All right, so I have some black sesame seeds. You can use just a toasted brown sesame seed also, that will be fine. I just really like the color contrast of the black sesame seeds. All right, and then the last addition is our seaweed here. So let me show you what the sheet looks like. So we have a sheet of seaweed here, and then I just quartered a few slices that were, or a few sheets that were stacked together so that they could easily then be cut into strips. So I'll cut them into strips. Scissors would also work really well for this. It's something that kids could help out with. All right, so just cut a few of those. And actually think I might cut them in half again, just to make them a little more manageable when you're eating. And we'll sprinkle a few on top here. And that is it. Look how easy that was. So easy to put together, full of flavor, and again, we have a nice balanced meal in a bowl here. Great for leftovers for lunch as well. And then I would even, if it were me, I would take a little bit of this marinade and then just drizzle some on top, but I'll leave that up to you as far as preference goes. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, you can find this recipe on eatfresh.org, and I look forward to seeing you again for another episode.